Welcome aboard, Dream Traveler. Tonight, you're invited on a gentle journey across glowing forests, misty rivers, and skies full of stars. 4 peaceful stories await you, each designed to quiet your mind, slow your breath, and guide you softly into rest. Before we begin, take a moment to settle in. And if you enjoy this kind of story time, please consider subscribing. It helps keep the journey going. We share new stories often, always calm, always kind, always here to help you sleep. Now, just for fun, drop a comment below and tell us, where are you listening from? And what time are you going to bed tonight? It's always beautiful to see sleepy hearts all over the world, finding peace at the same time. Take one more breath, let go of the day, and let the journey begin. The sleep train to Silver Vale. The platform appeared only at night, silent, silver, and soaked in starlight. No signs, no clocks, just the distant hum of something approaching. You never knew where it was, only when it was time. And tonight, it was time. The air shimmered slightly, like fog had forgotten how to settle. Then, from the shadows beyond the trees, the train rolled in, quiet as a whisper, slow as a lullaby. It wasn't an ordinary train. Its body glowed faintly blue, like moonlight had been poured into iron. The windows flickered with soft, golden light, and its long, curved roof was covered in moss and stardust. The doors opened with a sigh, inviting without words. No conductor, no crowd, just you and the soft hum of something meant only for sleep. You stepped inside, and the world hushed behind you. The floor was soft beneath your feet, covered in velvet so deep it felt like stepping onto a dream. Warm lamplight lined the walls. Each seat looked different. Some were armchairs, others long benches piled with quilts. A fireplace crackled quietly at the far end, casting orange shadows onto the ceiling. No one spoke, but you weren't alone. Travelers, quiet and calm, filled the car. Some were curled in corners with books half closed. Others leaned back with their eyes gently shut. No one stared, no one rushed. Just the soft rhythm of breath and the distant clack of the wheels on silver rails, gliding through the dark like a lullaby stretching on forever. The train began to move, not with a jolt, but with the slow certainty of dreams. Outside the windows, stars passed by, not above, but beside you. Forests drifted past, their trees glowing faintly in the moonlight. A soft fog curled around the tracks like a blanket, hiding the world behind gentle folds of grey. Inside, time felt like it was melting. You wandered through the car slowly, guided by golden lanterns that swung gently with the motion. Each step was silent. In the next car, shelves held rows of star maps labeled in a language you somehow understood. A soft voice, not spoken but felt, welcomed you. Rest is not earned here. It is offered. You smiled, unsure why, but certain it was true. One room held only hammocks, swaying gently in rhythm with the rails. Another had soft chimes that rang when you breathed near them. Each car felt like a new dream, quiet, soft, strange in the most comforting way. You felt no urgency to explore at all. The train would carry you as far as your rest needed to go, and tonight that was very far indeed. You chose a seat near a round window wide enough to watch the stars pass like boats across a velvet sea. A blanket, already warmed, was folded beside you. As you settled in, a soft breeze drifted from somewhere above. Not cold, just enough to remind you of night air and open skies. The rhythm of the rails below lulled your body into weightlessness. Through your window, a mountain came into view, glowing faintly blue under a sleeping moon. The train curved gently around its base, weaving through tunnels and bridges carved by time. Lights blinked in the distance. Tiny homes tucked in hills, their windows glowing like fireflies. You wondered who lived there, and if they too had heard the train. As your eyes softened, the world outside blurred into soft colors and gentle movement. The train didn't need a destination. The journey was to sleep. Each breath grew slower, each thought quieter, and somewhere between now and not yet, the sleep train to Silver Vale rolled on, carrying you deeper into comfort and further from the waking world. Somewhere overhead, a soft chime rang. 3 delicate notes, like wind through glass. It wasn't a signal, just a gentle reminder. This was a place between places. A pocket of time not measured in minutes, but in stillness. You closed your eyes for a moment, listening to the hush that settled between the sounds. It felt like the train was floating, not gliding. Another traveler nearby stirred slightly, pulling a shawl closer. Their breathing was slow, peaceful, like waves brushing a quiet shore. The train moved on, humming softly beneath the floor. You could feel it in your bones. Not noise, but motion, like being rocked in a cradle. There was no hurry here, no destination to reach, just the gentle unfolding of rest. Outside, trees lined the tracks like guardians, their branches arched overhead, forming tunnels of moonlight and shadow. Now and then, a soft animal call echoed faintly. Distant owls, maybe, or foxes patting over fallen leaves. But inside the car, it was warm and still. Every sound outside felt like a lullaby written in nature's own hand. You shifted slightly in your seat and noticed the small book tucked into the armrest. A leather-bound journal with no title. You opened it slowly. The pages were filled with gentle sketches, trees, lanterns, sleeping foxes, and quiet paths. Beneath each sketch, a short sentence. You are safe here. You may rest now. The journey knows your name. The words weren't instructions. They were reminders. Soft truths you'd always known, but often forgotten. You closed the book and placed it back, feeling a warmth in your chest, like being seen. Another chime rang far away, lower this time, and the lights dimmed slightly. Not dark, just softer, like the room itself was preparing for sleep. You glanced across the aisle. A lantern hung near the ceiling, swaying gently. Inside it, tiny lights flickered. Not flame, but something slower, softer, like the glow of stars through fog. They moved in slow spirals, fading and reappearing, as if breathing. You watched until your own breath matched the pace. Inhale, exhale, ease. The train passed through a brief tunnel, and shadows brushed across the window like waves. When it emerged, a valley unfolded outside. Silver Vale, perhaps, though you weren't sure. The fields were covered in silvery mist. Trees stood like statues, still and wise. Fireflies blinked along a winding river. Everything outside moved like it was dreaming. The tracks curved gently left, and a soft clicking echoed through the floorboards. Not loud, just present, like the pulse of the train's heart. In the far distance, you thought you saw another train on a distant ridge, its lights blinking slowly, like it too was carrying sleepers through some other dreamland. The world felt infinite in its quiet. Your eyes grew heavier now. Each blink lingered longer, and the weight of the blanket across your lap seemed to pull you closer to stillness. You weren't tired in the way that aches or drags. You were gently dissolving into rest, like sugar in warm tea. The train didn't lull you to sleep, became sleep itself, wrapping you in its gentle rhythm. The last thing you saw before your eyes closed again was a tiny flicker of candlelight in the distance. A cabin, perhaps, tucked into the hillside. Smoke curled from its chimney, lit gold by the moon. It looked like home, or something your dreams might remember. And then, with one more breath, you let go as the sleep train to Silver Vale carried you further in. The world outside blurred softly, like watercolor on paper. The moon moved slowly behind the clouds, and the train drifted on, its rhythm unbroken. The air inside the car grew warmer, and your body felt lighter, like the weight of the day was melting away. You weren't rushing to anything. There was nowhere to go but deeper into rest, deeper into the quiet, and with each passing moment that felt more than enough. A gentle chime sounded, followed by a soft whisper of wind through the trees outside. The train's wheels clicked steadily, like a lullaby, guiding you further along the path. Through the window, shadows of hills stretched long beneath the moon, casting a soft glow over the land. Everything in the world seemed to be stretching towards sleep, reaching for rest without urgency, without need, just the pull of quiet, deeper still. You let your eyes fall closed again. This time there were no thoughts to hold on to. The world outside, the hum of the train, the softness of the air. Everything blended together like the fabric of a dream, woven tightly but gently. The stillness had become part of you now. No thoughts, no worries, only peace, like a quiet song that played without words, but filled every inch of your being. The stars outside twinkled faintly, their light soft through the glass. You could almost hear them whispering, echoes of distant dreams. Every star felt close, like it was watching over you, guiding the train forward in silence. The mountains ahead seemed to melt into the sky, soft and endless. The world was nothing but this moment, quiet, still, and full of promise. There was nothing left to do but drift deeper. A small sound came from the far end of the car, but it didn't startle you. It was a soft sound, like the flutter of a curtain or the quiet turning of a page. The train's gentle rocking continued, its motion becoming a part of you. Outside, the world was bathed in a cool silver light. Inside, warmth and quiet enveloped you. You no longer knew where the train ended and where you began. You were simply part of the journey. The cabin dimmed slightly as the train entered a new section of the track, but the atmosphere remained steady. Soft amber light filled the room, casting long, golden shadows on the walls. You felt your body relax further into your seat, the blanket pulling you closer to sleep. The wheels of the train turned steadily, lulling you deeper, as if the very motion of the world was telling you to rest. And so you did. Through the window you could see a mountain in the distance. It was tall, jagged, yet soft in the moonlight. It seemed to beckon you toward it, not with force, but with quiet understanding. The train circled it, its tracks following the curve of the land as the wheels clicked steadily, each note of sound wrapping you deeper into comfort. The world was large and still, and you were simply a traveler passing through it. The train entered another tunnel, and for a moment the world outside vanished, swallowed by darkness. The air inside was warm and close, and the soft chime of the bells seemed to echo within you. There was no need to see, there was no need to know. The journey was enough. It was all that was needed. You could feel the warmth of the train moving through you as if you had become a part of the engine itself. When the train emerged from the tunnel, the landscape outside had shifted. The mountains were now distant, and a wide, calm river stretched out before you. The moon cast soft reflections on the water's surface, and the sound of the train was the only movement in the air. The train slowed, and the gentle rocking became softer. You were closer now, not just to Silver Vale, but to the stillness that lived within you. A peaceful silence filled the car as the lights dimmed further. The stars outside had become faint, soft smudges of light in the sky, like distant memories. You felt your body relax even more, muscles unwinding, your mind floating away from thoughts, from worries. Everything in the world seemed to have faded into the background, except the soft hum of the train and the deep, endless quiet that wrapped around you like a blanket. Sleep was here. You didn't need to chase it anymore. The train's gentle rocking seemed to slow even more, like it, too, was winding down. Outside the window, the river now sparkled under the moon, its surface still, only rippled by the occasional breath of wind. It was the kind of silence that felt alive. The landscape passed by in slow motion, not demanding attention, only offering its beauty in soft doses. You felt, for the first time in what felt like ages, completely and utterly at peace. A quiet sound from across the room, a soft sigh, a faint rustling. Another traveler, perhaps, or just the train settling as it entered a new part of the journey. It didn't matter. There were no boundaries here. All around, travelers were moving toward the same place. Silver Vale, or perhaps something more profound, a shared stillness. You weren't alone, even if you felt like you were wrapped in this quiet cocoon of gentle movement and calm. The train shifted slightly, turning toward a dense forest. Tall trees, their branches hanging low with the weight of mist, lined the tracks. They stretched up toward the sky like ancient guardians, and the train passed beneath them, quiet as a whisper. Every leaf and branch was a lullaby, soft, inviting. You could almost feel the forest breathing, its rhythm aligned with the train's quiet motion. Together they moved through time. Outside, the stars had almost disappeared behind a thick veil of clouds. The night had deepened, but it didn't feel dark. The air was rich with quiet, heavy with the promise of dreams. You pressed your head back into the seat, feeling the weight of the train's comfort, and let your eyes drift shut again. The train seemed to pull you deeper with each passing mile, not pulling you away from sleep, but towards it, like a magnet drawing you closer to a peaceful dream. In the stillness, you could almost hear the heartbeat of the train. Slow, deep, gentle. It moved in time with the soft breaths of the travelers around you. The sound wasn't an intrusion. It was part of the lullaby. Everything felt synchronized, from the rhythm of the wheels to the quiet pace of the forest outside. No hurry, no rush, only this endless, soft motion toward rest. And within that motion, you felt completely safe. A slight breeze stirred the curtains, sending a soft wave of coolness through the cabin. The mist outside thickened, curling around the trees like smoke. The world felt suspended between breaths, one long, gentle exhale that held the quiet close. The train, the trees, the stars, all seemed to exist in a place where time had slowed down to match the pace of your body, your mind. Everything moved slower now. Everything moved with you. The light inside the train dimmed once more, and the warmth wrapped itself tighter around you. The room felt like a small cocoon, safe and still. The firelight from the small hearth in the corner flickered gently, casting soft shadows on the walls. The soft rustling of blankets, the slow sound of your own breathing. It all blurred together. There was no need to do anything, no need to be anywhere. The journey was enough, and in it you had everything you needed. Through the window, the trees had thickened into an almost impenetrable forest. The train wound through the heart of it, moving so gently that you felt like you were drifting in a dream. Each soft curve of the tracks seemed to match the quiet rhythm inside you. Outside, the mist grew thicker. It was as though the entire world had been softened, wrapped in a quiet blanket of fog and quiet. A soft melody began to play, not from speakers or instruments, but from the rhythm of the train. The sound was deep, almost like the earth was humming beneath your feet. It wasn't music in the traditional sense. It was more like the vibration of the world itself. A slow, soft song that resonated through you. It pulled you deeper, drawing you towards sleep with its gentle, earthy tone. The train had become the melody, and you had become part of it. You blinked slowly, and when you opened your eyes again, everything outside had disappeared into soft mist. The train glided on through a world that seemed untouched by time, and for the first time in what felt like years, you didn't need to reach for anything. You didn't need to understand anything. The train carried you forward as it always had, gently. You closed your eyes, and with a soft exhale, you let go, trusting the journey completely. The world outside blurred once more as the train moved through the mist. The fog wrapped everything in soft, muted layers, and you felt as though you were drifting through a dream where nothing had edges, only soft, rounded shapes. Each breath you took felt like it belonged to the train. Each exhale felt like a soft wind passing through trees. The train's gentle hum seemed to fill every space inside you, soothing every corner of your mind. The train slowed, and you felt it before you heard it. It was a subtle change, a shift in the air. The soft hum became quieter, the steady rhythm of the wheels almost inaudible. You looked out the window, and through the mist you could see the faintest glow, a soft, golden light in the distance. It wasn't bright. It was just there, soft and inviting. It felt like home, or perhaps a place you'd once dreamt of, now arriving just in time for sleep. You felt your body relax further, sinking into the warmth of the seat. The cabin seemed to respond, its walls softly glowing as though the train itself were responding to your quiet surrender. The air grew still, yet warm, like the soft embrace of sleep itself. The train moved like a slow tide, carrying you further into a world where nothing had to be done, nothing had to be fixed. It was a place for rest, and here rest was all that was needed. The golden glow outside grew stronger, lighting up the mist in hues of amber and soft yellow. The landscape, once hidden by fog, began to take shape. A quiet, open field dotted with small cottages. Soft lights flickered from the windows, casting gentle shadows on the ground. The train continued, but there was no need to rush. The world outside was sleepy, peaceful. It welcomed you in, not with force, but with the softest of invitations. You noticed that the travelers around you had grown still, too. Their eyes were closed, their bodies relaxed into the soft warmth of the train. The only movement was the gentle rise and fall of their chests, synchronized with the slow rhythm of the train. The sound of soft breathing filled the air. The world outside remained quiet. The train's journey felt like it had always been this way, slow, peaceful, and full of quiet comfort. The train passed slowly through the village, and you could almost hear the soft rustling of leaves, the distant murmur of water in a stream. The cottages glowed faintly, and small gardens filled with flowers leaned toward the train as if they, too, were seeking rest. Everything seemed to move in perfect harmony with the train's journey. Slow, deliberate, soft, the village, like the train, was woven from the threads of a quiet, unhurried night. You rested your head back again, feeling the softness of the seat beneath you. The gentle sway of the train lulled you deeper into the rhythm. Outside, the world melted into a wash of color. Amber light, soft mist, trees leaning toward the tracks. Time no longer felt like something to be measured. It had stretched out, soft and flowing, like a river that moves only at its own pace. You let go, fully trusting that the journey would carry you where you needed to go. The air in the cabin felt thick with warmth and rest. The distant hum of the train had become almost imperceptible, like a heartbeat that moves unnoticed but steady, a constant in the quiet. The windows were misted from the cool air outside, and the gentle flicker of lamplight danced across the walls. You could feel the soft pull of sleep, now not sudden, but drawn out, like the fading end of a song that you didn't want to end. A final chime echoed softly through the cabin, a sound like a deep sigh. It was the last sound you would hear before sleep fully enveloped you. The softest of whispers seemed to drift around the train, a promise that the journey would continue even after you fell into dreams. You weren't falling asleep. You were floating there, as if sleep itself were part of the train, part of the motion, part of the world you now moved through. The train's journey slowed even more, but it didn't stop. It moved through the world, passing by fields, mountains, and streams, each one a quiet invitation to rest. And as your body relaxed fully into the seat, the train became a part of your dream. The soft flicker of light, the gentle sway, the soothing hum. It all became the space between waking and sleeping, where you no longer had to try to sleep. Sleep had arrived, and it was guiding you on your way. Somewhere in the distance, a soft owl called out. Its voice carried gently through the open fields. The train moved so quietly now, it was hard to tell if you were gliding or floating. The light in the cabin dimmed even further, until it was only the faintest glow, like moonlight through closed eyes. Everything around you faded into warmth and softness, the final notes of wakefulness drifting away, like leaves carried by a slow, steady breeze. You were aware of the rhythm still, the quiet turning of wheels beneath you, but it no longer felt separate. The train was no longer carrying you. It had become part of you, or you had become part of it. Your thoughts, once scattered and sharp, were now round and smooth. They rose like bubbles and popped without sound, disappearing into the stillness. Nothing pressed, nothing pulled. Just breath and motion and sleep. A soft rustle near the far end of the cabin made you open your eyes briefly. The light flickered gently, revealing a small table set with tea, untouched and waiting. A candle flickered beside it, and its reflection danced on the window. You watched for only a moment before closing your eyes again. That scene, too, became part of the dream, part of the story that unfolded without words. Outside, the trees had returned. Tall pines swayed gently, their needles whispering in the night wind. The forest embraced the train with open arms, letting it pass quietly along the winding track. There were no crossings here, no signs, no clocks. Only the knowledge that rest was near, and that everyone on board was exactly where they needed to be. You imagined what it might be like to live in this place of quiet forests and slow-moving trains, a place where people only moved when the stars whispered it was time, a world where everything was slower, softer, kinder. You weren't sure if Silver Vale was a real place or if it was simply an idea, but you knew in this moment you were already there in spirit. The cabin gave a soft creak, like wood settling in the night. It wasn't jarring, it was comforting, like the sigh of an old home. You pulled the blanket a little higher, tucked your feet beneath its warmth, and let your breath fall into the same rhythm the train had kept since the beginning. You were no longer traveling, you were simply existing within the story. The river returned, flowing alongside the tracks. It moved in silence, its surface mirroring the moon and clouds above. Sometimes you could see small ripples, as if fish were stirring beneath. Or maybe dreams. Maybe this was the place where dreams were born, hidden in the bends of the water, waiting to be caught by travelers as they passed. Far ahead, lights appeared on the horizon. A village, perhaps, tiny specks of gold nestled in the darkness, unmoving, untouched by time. You knew the train would pass through gently, never waking its people. It wasn't meant to bring change, only to carry peace from one resting place to the next. You watched as the lights grew closer, then softened again into the distance. The cabin was completely quiet now. Even the fire had grown low, its glow faint but steady. You could feel yourself floating between thoughts, your mind a gentle driftwood on the current of dreams. The train continued forward, not asking anything from you, not needing anything from you. Its gift was simple. It offered stillness, and you had accepted. And so, with each breath, with each quiet turn of the wheel, you settled further into rest. No stories left to follow, no memories left to sort, only the hum of motion, the weight of the blanket, and the calm presence of the sleep train to Silver Vale. You let your eyes close again, knowing that whatever lay ahead would greet you gently, and in that knowing you finally slept. The stars above the valley had faded into a soft, grey sky. Dawn was still far away, but the world outside was beginning to rest deeper. The trees were still, the river moved like silk. Inside the train, nothing stirred. The glow of the lanterns had dimmed to a quiet shimmer. All around you, warmth and stillness folded in. You could feel the last layers of wakefulness leaving your body, slipping away without effort. A whisper of wind brushed against the window, not enough to wake, just enough to remind you that the night still held you. You imagined the train moving across a silver thread, laid out across the land, connecting dream to dream, rest to rest. Each traveler on board had become part of a shared hush, a community of sleep wrapped in time. And within that quiet, you found yourself not just calm, but completely held. The scent of pine and smoke lingered faintly in the cabin. Your senses, now slow and dim, received it not as a signal, but as comfort, like a memory from long ago, gentle and kind. The wooden walls creaked again. The floor shifted ever so slightly. Even the air moved as if it were tired, floating softly through the car with no destination, no rush, only calm. Outside, the trees began to thin, giving way to open fields bathed in moonlight. Each blade of grass shimmered like it was dusted in frost. A single owl glided silently across the sky, its wings wide and smooth, its call distant and low. The train moved on, a glowing line across the quiet world, untouched, undisturbed. Sleep had not just arrived. It had settled in. You imagined the name Silver Vale again. It sounded like water and light. It felt like peace wrapped in silence. You didn't need to know where it was. You didn't need to arrive. The journey was the destination, and the stillness you felt now was exactly what you came for. You could have stayed in this moment forever, wrapped in the quiet rhythm of soft wheels and slower thoughts. Someone had once said that true rest doesn't ask for anything. It simply waits. Tonight it had waited for you. And now, as your body grew heavy with sleep, you felt that truth settle into every part of you. There was nothing to do, no story to finish, no dream to chase, just this moment, just this train, just the hum of everything fading gently to quiet. The train entered another tunnel, darker than before, but the darkness didn't bring fear. It felt like a blanket pulled gently over your shoulders. Inside, the light disappeared almost completely, and in that perfect shadow, you felt safe. The tunnel seemed to last forever, but time didn't matter. There was no hurry. The ride was smooth, slow, kind. When the train emerged again, you felt the faintest vibration, like a heartbeat in the earth. Outside, Silver Vale glimmered softly across the valley. Quiet rooftops, soft lanterns, and hills rising gently into the distance. Whether this was real or imagined didn't matter. It had always been there, waiting in your quietest dreams. And now you had arrived. The cabin gave one last sigh of warmth. You pulled the blanket close. The soft murmur of breath from the other travelers surrounded you like a lullaby without words. You didn't need to stay awake to witness the end. You could drift freely now, knowing everything would continue without you. The train would carry you on. It would hold you through the night. Sleep wrapped around you like a final note in a long, slow song. The wheels turned. The world softened. The last light blinked gently in the distance, and even that faded as your eyes closed for the final time. You were home now, not in a place, but in a feeling. The sleep train to Silver Vale rolled on, quiet and sure, and carried you deeper into the calm you had always been seeking. The Floating Bed Caravan. When the clock slips past midnight and the streets fall quiet, the Floating Bed Caravan begins its journey. No wheels turn, no wings flap. Beds simply rise. One by one, they lift gently from bedroom windows, held aloft by something softer than air. There is no sound but the rustle of curtains and the deep, steady breath of sleepers drifting upward into the night. The beds float without effort, carried by unseen winds and dreams unspoken. They drift above rooftops and treetops, past sleeping dogs and closed shutters, through skies heavy with stars. No one steers, no one guides. The caravan knows where to go. It follows the quiet, weaving through the clouds with patience and grace, like a lullaby sung without sound. Your bed is among them now. You didn't notice when it lifted. You only remember that the pillow felt softer, the air quieter. As you breathe in, the scent of night drifts in, cool, sweet, and filled with starlight. Beneath you, the world shrinks gently, each home now a dot glowing faintly in the distance. Ahead, other beds sway in slow rhythm, each one carrying a sleeper deeper into rest. A small breeze tugs at your blanket, tucking it close. Your bed tilts ever so slightly, like a boat rocked by calm water. Clouds gather below, not thick, but wispy and glowing, reflecting moonlight like silver feathers. The sky is vast, yet never cold. It holds you with care. The caravan continues, beds gently bobbing in the silence, every movement a whisper. You close your eyes again, but you're not quite asleep. The world around you feels blurred and beautiful. Somewhere above, a bell rings softly. Not an alarm, but a chime, like wind passing through glass. It marks nothing. It reminds you only that this is a dream worth staying in. The stars begin to swirl slowly, forming shapes that only half exist, soft as memory. One bed floats near yours, carrying a child curled beneath a patchwork quilt. Another carries a pair of old friends, heads tipped back, eyes closed in matching peace. The caravan does not judge. It carries everyone the same way, with patience, with care, with the promise that sleep is sacred. You feel the hush between clouds, and it makes your breath slow. A flock of birds passes low beneath the beds, not startled, just aware. They move in a slow arc and disappear into the night. The sky above opens wider, and the stars pull back like curtains, revealing something more. Colors you don't have names for, drifting in soft spirals. The beds begin to descend, not quickly, but with the weight of a sigh. Below, a soft landscape forms. Fields of tall grass lit by moonlight, trees glowing faintly with soft blue fruit, and a river so still it reflects the sky like a mirror. The beds begin to lower, one at a time, like leaves settling onto a pond. Your bed dips first, brushing past a curtain of mist, before landing gently near a quiet grove. The grass beneath your bed is warm. Crickets sing in slow rhythms. The sky stretches above you, and the caravan continues on in the distance, leaving behind those who need deeper rest. Around you, other sleepers remain still, eyes closed, minds far away. You stay there, quiet, unmoving, listening to the hush between each breath. You don't know if this is a dream, a memory, or something else entirely. It doesn't matter. All that exists is the hush of night, the softness beneath you, and the sense that you are part of something kind. The floating bed caravan carries on, its quiet passengers vanishing into dreamland, and you, wrapped in stillness, are one of them. The sky above the grove dims to a deeper blue, scattered with stars like slow blinking eyes. A breeze stirs the grass, carrying the scent of lavender and rain. You shift slightly, your body sinking further into the bed's gentle support. There's no need to speak, no need to move. The night has taken over everything now, wrapping the world in velvet stillness. A soft light glows in the distance. Not fire, not electricity, but something gentler, like stardust woven into lanterns. The glow dances through the trees, lighting a winding path. You don't need to walk it. Just looking at it is enough to feel its warmth. The light flickers slowly, in rhythm with your breath, guiding dreams you haven't yet imagined. You close your eyes, and when you open them again, you're drifting once more. Bed has lifted quietly from the grove, joined again with the others in the sky. Beneath you, hills roll like soft waves. A small lake reflects the floating caravan. It looks like a trail of stars has left the heavens and taken to wandering the earth in silence. Another bed floats beside yours. It carries a woman holding a tiny cat curled against her chest. She smiles in her sleep, the kind of smile that comes from remembering something kind. Her bed glides past yours without sound. All of this feels like a lullaby. You are not alone, but you are completely at ease, safe, still, and guided. The caravan passes through a cloud, and for a moment the world is wrapped in white mist. You can feel it, cool and soft, brushing against your cheeks like a mother's hand. The beds keep moving, slower now. You are so far from the world below that nothing seems to matter anymore. No clocks, no tasks, just breath, softness, and sleep. The mist thins, revealing a new land below, a meadow glowing faintly with light from underground roots. Strange flowers blink open and shut as if dreaming themselves. Some of the beds begin to descend. Yours does not. It drifts on, deeper still, into night. You watch the glowing meadow fade behind you, carrying its peace in your chest. A soft sound, like the distant ringing of glass bells, floats through the air. It isn't music, but something slower, a sound made not to be heard, but to be felt. It pulses gently through your bones, steady and warm. It reminds you of something ancient and kind, though you can't name it. The sky listens. The beds drift on. Nothing breaks the calm. You feel the shift before you see it. The stars overhead begin to move slowly, circling in quiet spirals. The sky itself begins to ripple, as though dreaming with you. The clouds part, revealing a great canopy of color purples, soft golds, and the faint glow of dreams unfolding. It is the kind of view that makes you forget where you are and simply rest. The temperature cools just enough to bring you deeper into your blanket. A whisper of wind passes over your face like a secret between the stars. All around you, the beds begin to descend again, this time toward a starlit shore where the ocean barely moves. The waves are slow, like breathing. Each one matches your own, perfectly timed, perfectly quiet. Your bed lowers gently, settling onto soft sand warmed by moonlight. The sea stretches endlessly in both directions, calm and dark. Not a single wave crashes. They rise and fall like sighs. You rest there, toes nearly brushing the edge of the shore. You've never been here before, but it feels familiar, like you've dreamed of this place forever. The sun beneath your bed feels like warm fabric shaped by the hush of waves. You breathe deeply, and the scent of salt and night drifts through the air. The ocean glows faintly in the moonlight, Not bright, but soft, like a memory from long ago. Nothing moves quickly here. Even the stars take their time, casting long reflections that dance gently across the water. You watch as another bed settles further down the shore. A young boy sleeps there, holding a stuffed animal close, his breathing slow and even. His bed rocks gently, just enough to soothe. The waves answer in kind, curling softly toward him, then slipping back again. It feels like the whole shoreline is breathing, rising and falling in a rhythm made only for sleep. The sound of the sea becomes part of you. It fills the spaces between thoughts, smoothing them down, rounding their edges until they fade. You close your eyes again, feeling no rush to open them. Time moves differently here, like a song without tempo, just a quiet melody you feel more than hear. And still the caravan waits, floating nearby in patient silence. From the edge of the sky, a soft breeze begins to rise. The air grows cooler, but not cold. Your blanket wraps more tightly around you, sensing your need before you do. The beds begin to lift again, slow and soundless. The shore stays behind, glowing gently like a dream half remembered. Above, the stars stretch farther now, guiding you on. As you rise, you glimpse other dreamlands below. Gardens that glow like lanterns, mountains with waterfalls that fall in slow motion, rooftops where owls perch in silent watch. You drift past them all. There's no need to visit each one. Their peace reaches you anyway, like distant songs carried through clouds. Each sight brings you deeper into rest. The sky above deepens into midnight blue, and clouds swell softly around the beds like silk ribbons. There's no urgency here. The caravan moves with perfect patience, letting each sleeper fall deeper into comfort. The world narrows to soft air and steady drifting. It's not about the destination anymore. It's about the floating, the quiet, the stillness. You pass near a bed, carrying a woman surrounded by floating books. They turn slowly in the air as if caught in a current. One opens, revealing pages filled with stars and maps. Her dreams must be full of stories, but none of them stir her now. She sleeps with the calm of someone who has found their place among the clouds. Her breath echoes yours. The moon rises higher, its light gentle and wide. It casts no shadows, only soft edges. Beneath you, a sea of silver mist covers the earth like a blanket. There are no sounds but the quiet hum of drifting. You feel your thoughts stretch out and disappear into the air. All that's left is your breath and the rhythm of floating. That's all there needs to be. You aren't thinking anymore. You are floating within yourself. The bed is your shell, the sky your cradle. The stars above feel close now, like they could reach down and cover you with their glow. The sky deepens, but not in darkness, only in peace. You sense that the caravan is beginning to slow. Another place awaits, hidden just beyond the clouds. The clouds part to reveal a wide glade filled with tall, glowing grass. Fireflies drift in lazy spirals. A small stream winds through the meadow, its surface smooth as glass. The beds begin to lower again, one by one, like petals falling onto water. You feel your bed begin to dip. The air is sweet, sleep is deep. You are not dreaming. You are resting fully and truly. Your bed settles at the edge of the glowing glade. The tall grass sways gently, touched by wind that feels like a sigh. Fireflies drift past your face in slow spirals, their lights dim and warm. You breathe it all in, the scent of soft earth and moonlit air. There's a hush here, a silence so complete it feels like the world is holding its breath, waiting for you to fully relax. A gentle stream murmurs nearby, its voice so quiet you almost mistake it for your own breath. Water flows over smooth stones that catch the starlight. The bed rocks ever so slightly, matching the rhythm of that flowing water. Around you, other beds have touched down too, each one resting in its own patch of stillness. No one speaks, but everyone is at peace. You reach your hand over the edge of the bed and touch the grass. It's soft, like brushed velvet, warmed by the day. Each blade moves with the breeze, not to wake you, but to remind you that the world is still gently turning. You are far from worry now. Even the stars feel quieter. The caravan has brought you here for a reason, and your only task is to rest. An owl glides silently overhead, wings stretched wide. Its shadow brushes your blanket for just a moment before disappearing into the trees beyond. The fireflies don't stir. They continue to blink slowly, as if dreaming with you. The stream hums a lullaby you can't remember learning, but somehow know by heart. You feel its melody inside your chest. As the sky deepens, colors begin to fade into shades of silver and soft blue. The glade remains quiet, untouched by time. You lie still, eyes closed, feeling the way the night holds everything in balance. This place is not a stop, it is a layer of sleep, another step deeper into calm. You are part of the quiet now, and it welcomes you completely. Above the glade, the caravan hovers softly in the air. Some beds remain floating, swaying gently in place. Others drift lower, their passengers already lost to dreams. You see them briefly between the trees. Some smile, others lie completely still. They are not awake, and they do not need to be. The sky keeps moving, and the night keeps watching. The stream makes a turn through the grass, its water glowing faintly. You follow its line with your eyes and see a soft light in the distance. A willow tree stands near the bend, its branches heavy with shimmering moss. Some of the beds have gathered beneath it. You are content where you are. There is nothing to reach for, nothing to chase. Only the feeling of being carried. You close your eyes again and feel your bed begin to rise. The air cools as the glade grows distant, fading behind a layer of mist. The stars feel brighter up here, closer than before. Your breath slows once more. Even your thoughts are quieter now. You don't try to follow them, you let them float away, like leaves caught in a slow-moving breeze. Now, high above the clouds, the beds come together once more. They drift in quiet formation, a constellation of dreamers moving gently across the sky. There is no destination being announced, no map, no need to know the way. You only feel the steady presence of others, each one wrapped in their own quiet world, moving as slowly as sleep itself. The sky stretches forever, soft and endless. There is no beginning and no end to this journey, only the sensation of being carried. The floating bed caravan needs no tracks or trails. It follows the shape of your rest, bending with your breath, guiding you to places both imagined and real. And as the night deepens, you feel it lead you further into the quiet. Your bed drifts near the edge of a cloud shaped like a hilltop. On it sits a tiny cottage with lights glowing warmly in the windows. Smoke curls slowly from its chimney. You wonder who dreams there, what quiet thoughts live in that house of sky and sleep. The caravan moves on, giving just a glimpse, then gently pulling you deeper into the night. The sky is darker now, but not heavy. It wraps around the beds like a blanket stitched from silence and starlight. You breathe in and feel every part of yourself relax. Thoughts that once spun too fast have settled. There is nothing left to untangle. The quiet has filled in the spaces where worry used to live. Now there is only calm, slow breath and sky. Far below you see a dark forest with glowing paths winding through it. The beds above it shimmer slightly as if made of moonlight. The forest seems to pulse gently, not with danger but with mystery. You are not drawn down, just aware. The caravan passes overhead without pause, respecting the silence, letting the trees whisper their stories beneath. Somewhere off to your right, another bed drifts higher, tilting slightly toward a cluster of stars. A child in striped pajamas waves sleepily to no one in particular. Their pillow glows faintly as their bed floats upward, not fast, not far, just enough to suggest the stars have invited them closer. The rest of the caravan moves forward in shared quiet. You feel your own bed shift slightly, adjusting to the shape of the air. It finds the perfect balance and settles into stillness again. Around you, the sky stretches wide. The stars don't flicker, they pulse. Each light feels like a heartbeat, steady and kind. You close your eyes and feel your breath match that rhythm, slow and even, like waves on a shore. Drifting now over a still lake, the caravan slows again. The beds hover quietly, their reflections glowing on the water. Nothing stirs, even the wind seems to pause here. It's a place of perfect stillness, where dreams sink deep like stones and never need to be chased. Your bed hovers just above the surface. The lake holds your reflection gently. You see another dream float across the water. Not a person, not a place, but a feeling. Like childhood memories bundled into a cloud, it passes near you, warm and familiar, then fades away. The caravan begins to rise again, and your bed follows without sound. The lake remains below, unchanged, its surface untouched by the passing of time. The air grows warmer now, a soft breeze carrying the scent of something sweet, perhaps flowers, perhaps memory. You are not sure, but it makes you smile. The beds circle together briefly, as if in silent gathering. It feels like a moment of recognition, like the sky itself is aware of each sleeper and is thankful for their trust in the journey. Above you, the stars begin to group into gentle spirals. Shapes form and dissolve slowly, too soft, too name, too fluid to hold. They are not constellations, but dream signs, written just for you. They glow only for a moment, then vanish into the dark again, leaving behind only a sense of being seen, being known, without needing to explain anything at all. The caravan enters another stretch of cloud, this one thick and soft like fresh snow. The world disappears around you. There is no up, no down, only the weightless sensation of being between thoughts, between breaths. You have never felt so far from noise, so close to silence. You let your body relax completely, and the clouds carry you deeper still. The mist around your bed begins to glow faintly, as though moonlight has become part of the clouds themselves. You drift through it slowly, every movement gentle and soundless. Somewhere above, a star falls across the sky, leaving behind a faint silver trail. You watch it fade until it disappears completely. The beds remain steady, their presence unbroken, a constellation of rest floating through the night. The air here feels warmer, rich with the scent of something sweet and earthy, like honey and moss. You take in the fragrance and feel it settle you even deeper. Around you, the caravan tightens its shape, bringing each bed closer together. You can see the faces of those nearby, all of them relaxed, all of them safe. The caravan feels alive, as though it is watching over every dreamer in silence. A soft vibration hums beneath you. It is not mechanical, but natural, like the heartbeat of the sky itself. You close your eyes and feel it resonate in your chest, steady and kind. The caravan begins to drift lower, gliding toward a new landscape below. This one is covered in soft hills that roll like gentle waves. There are lanterns flickering between the hills, each one glowing in rhythm with your breath. Your bed settles again, this time on a grassy ridge. The grass glows faintly in the starlight, and fireflies spiral lazily nearby. You let your head sink into your pillow, not because you are tired, but because the ground and sky invite you to rest. The air carries a soft hum here, a melody you cannot place but instantly trust. It feels like a song you once heard long ago, one meant only for sleep. Another bed drifts past, low to the ground. An older man rests there, his hands folded gently over his chest, his breathing slow. His bed floats like a boat moving downstream, calm and certain. The fireflies drift closer to him, glowing softly, almost like they know him. You close your eyes again, letting yourself drift on the same invisible current of comfort. The hills curve downward toward a wide valley. A river glows faintly there, winding through the land like a ribbon of glass. Some of the beds begin to follow its path, floating just above the surface. The reflection of the caravan dances in the water, making it look as though two caravans travel side by side, one in the air, one deep in a mirrored dream. You hover above the valley for a while, content to watch the river flow. The sound of water is faint, so soft it feels like it comes from inside your own mind. The longer you listen, the calmer you become. Your bed adjusts itself slightly, tilting to the perfect angle for rest. The blanket curls closer around you, and you feel every muscle in your body let go. The moon drifts lower, spreading silver light across the land. Every hill and tree glows softly, as if lit from within. The caravan remains unbroken, a slow-moving constellation of peace. Some beds remain close to the ground, others float high, but all move at the same gentle pace. This is a journey without urgency. Even the air seems to rest, moving only to cradle you. You close your eyes again, and in the quiet you feel like you are no longer traveling. You are simply suspended between sky and earth, as if the world has stopped spinning for this single moment. The stars above are steady, unmoving, and the river below glimmers softly. It feels like you've been here forever, and yet you sense there is more to see, more peace waiting to be found. The caravan begins to rise again, leaving the valley behind. The glow of the river softens, becoming a distant silver line. The air grows cooler and lighter as you drift higher, your bed swaying slightly with each gentle current. Ahead, a curtain of clouds parts to reveal a new horizon. It glows softly, inviting you onward, and you feel no fear. You only feel that you are being carried home. The sky ahead opens wide, stretching out like a canvas of sleep. The stars begin to blur slightly, not from movement, but from the softness of your gaze. The world around you loses shape in the most gentle way. Your body feels light, your breath slower than before. The caravan floats through this final part of the night, offering silence as its last gift. You are not sure whether you are still awake or already dreaming. It doesn't matter. Your bed is steady. The air holds you softly, like a cradle swaying in moonlight. You feel far from everything, but not alone. The others are still here, drifting with you. You are part of something larger, something made entirely of peace and presence. One last shape appears in the clouds ahead, a gentle archway glowing with the faintest blue light. It isn't a gate. It's more like a memory that never fully formed, now waiting to be passed through. The beds float one by one beneath it. Each dreamer glides forward without pause, without resistance, as if this were always where they were meant to be. As you pass beneath it, the air feels warmer, like a soft blanket pulled from the sun and cooled by the stars. The sensation isn't strong. It's quiet. It settles into your skin and bones and heart. Or you breathe in, then out, and for a moment everything is still. You are neither here nor there. You are between, and it is the safest place you've ever known. The caravan spreads out once more, each bed finding its own place in the sky. They no longer follow a single path. Each one seems to drift on its own rhythm, guided by nothing but breath and dream. Yours slows until it almost hovers, suspended in a pocket of night so soft that even silence sounds like music. Sleep is deeper now, heavier and kinder. You feel your eyes close, and this time they do not open again. Your body is completely still, and your thoughts no longer wander. They have settled into the quiet spaces of the sky, where even time slows down to rest. There is no more movement now, only being. The stars remain, soft and distant, watching over you without asking anything in return. Far away, something glows. Perhaps morning, perhaps a dream. It doesn't approach, it waits. Your journey doesn't need an ending. It was never about arriving, only about resting. The floating bed caravan was not a vehicle. It was a lullaby shaped like a sky, carrying you not to a place, but to the part of yourself that needed sleep the most. The stars slowly fade behind soft layers of cloud. Your bed drifts lower now, not toward the world, but toward something even quieter. The air cools to a perfect calm. There is no more story left to tell. Only the warmth of the blanket, the peace in your chest, and the hush of everything that once kept you awake, now gone. In this final moment, you feel nothing at all. Not in the way that means emptiness, but in the way that means peace. You are floating beyond thought, beyond sound, beyond even yourself. The caravan carries on, its path gentle and unbroken. You do not watch it go. You are already somewhere else, somewhere deep and soft and silent. And so the floating bed caravan continues, a silent procession of dreams drifting across the sky. You are no longer awake, no longer watching. You are part of the hush now, part of the sleep, held gently in a world built for rest, moving without moving through the quietest part of night. The Midnight Garden. Somewhere deep in a forest untouched by time, there is a place that blooms only when the world is quiet. It's called the Midnight Garden, and no path leads to it. No roads, no maps. Only sleep brings you close, and when your thoughts begin to drift and your breath softens, the garden starts to glow. Its petals unfolding in the hush of night like lanterns welcoming you home. You don't remember how you got here? One moment you were lying still, and the next your mind was moving gently between tall, moonlit trees. The air smells like lavender and cool moss. Above you, the sky is filled with stars, but their light feels softer here. You follow the glow between the trunks, not rushing, just moving as if the forest itself carries you. The entrance to the garden is marked not by gates, but by silence. A hush deeper than any you've known settles over everything, even your thoughts quiet. The path ahead is covered in soft moss, and as you step or float, you leave no marks. Petals drift down from trees with no wind. The garden knows you're here, and it welcomes you with stillness. Glowing flowers line the edges of a slow, spiraling path. They don't blink or pulse, but their light feels alive. Some are blue like morning mist. Others shine gold like starlight. Tiny creatures, no larger than your thumb, tend them gently. They carry drops of dew in curled leaves, placing them on petals with great care. None of them notice you, or maybe they do, and simply trust you to stay quiet. The ground is warm beneath you, as if it holds the memory of the sun, but this garden has never seen day. Only moonlight touches its leaves. The trees bend slightly, creating soft arches above your head. Some have fruit that glows gently, suspended like lanterns. You walk deeper, though your feet barely touch the ground, floating more than moving. A stream winds through the garden, its water so clear it reflects your dreams instead of your face. You see images you didn't know you remembered. Childhood trees, faraway windows, the feeling of being safe under a blanket. The stream doesn't babble or rush. It hums, a low, endless sound that wraps around your chest and tells you it's safe to let go. The path leads to a wide circle of grass where tall flowers sway in time with your breath. You lie down there without thinking, the grass softer than any bed. Fireflies drift above, tracing patterns in the air. You don't try to understand them. You simply watch as light moves like thought. Free, slow, impossible to hold. Your body feels heavier in the best way. Somewhere nearby, a tree drops a single leaf. It twirls gently through the air, landing near your hand. Its surface glows faintly, showing a tiny image, a memory, maybe, or a feeling. You don't need to know what it means. The garden keeps no secrets. It only offers calm. You breathe in the scent of night and watch the stars blink lazily above you. The creatures return, not to bother you, but to continue their care. They water petals with silver droplets, smooth moss with tiny brushes, and tuck curled leaves into neat beds. None speak, but the rustle of their work is its own lullaby. You listen without focus, the way you might hear rain, knowing it's there, letting it fade into background comfort. You could stay here forever. Time doesn't move in the midnight garden. It stretches like a dream, long and soft. The air cools slightly, just enough to pull your blanket close. A nearby tree lets out a slow creak, as if sighing in its sleep. You close your eyes. Nothing changes. Nothing needs to. You are exactly where rests live. A faint glow begins to spread across the garden, not from above, but from the flowers themselves. It's as if the earth is slowly exhaling light. You lift your head slightly and see the petals turning ever so gently, opening wider. They aren't blooming, they're breathing. You matched their rhythm without meaning to. Inhale, exhale, rest. The garden knows your pace now. Beyond the glowing field, an arched tunnel made of vines appears. You don't walk toward it. Instead, the ground shifts beneath you, moving like a slow current, carrying you forward without effort. The vines part, and a soft mist wraps around your shoulders. It isn't cold, it feels like memory. It smells of rain on leaves and the faint sweetness of nighttime air. The tunnel opens into a quiet grove filled with trees that hum with low, harmonious tones. You feel them more than you hear them. Each one plays a note that lingers in the air like a long, peaceful sigh. You stand still and let the sounds move through you. They don't vibrate, they settle. Like warm water poured over your thoughts, clearing them gently away. At the center of the grove is a pond that glows with soft green light. Its surface doesn't ripple, not even with the breeze. Instead, it shifts colors slowly, responding to your breath. You kneel beside it and look down, not at your face, but at shapes drifting far below. They aren't memories, but dreams waiting their turn. Some feel familiar, others make you smile without knowing why. Petals begin to drift from the trees, but not downward. They rise, floating up into the air like tiny lanterns. One passes close, and you see your own reflection in its surface. Peaceful, eyes half closed, safe. You don't reach for it. You simply watch it float away. The garden asks nothing from you. You are allowed to just be here, still and untroubled. A soft path opens once again, this time winding uphill toward a tree taller than the rest. Its trunk is wide, wrapped in moss, and its branches cradle soft lights like stars caught in their sleep. You don't climb, you float toward it slowly, your feet never quite touching the ground. The air grows even quieter, the kind of quiet that feels like kindness. You arrive beneath the tree, and a space opens in its roots. Not a door, not a cave, just a hollow shaped perfectly for rest. You lie down there, and the moss wraps gently around your shoulders. The sounds of the garden fade but do not disappear. They become part of your breath, part of your heartbeat. There's nothing left to think about, only to feel still. Above you, the tree hums softly. Each branch seems to glow in rhythm with your breath. Fireflies gather at its highest points, tracing long, slow spirals through the night. Some drift downward, flickering across your vision like thoughts you no longer need. You blink slowly and let them go. The garden holds them now. You don't have to. Sleep doesn't come like a curtain here. It arrives like a slow tide, rising gently without force. You feel it climbing your arms and legs, wrapping around your thoughts, cradling your breath. There is no resistance. Your body accepts the quiet the same way leaves accept light, without question, with grace. And deeper you go. The midnight garden continues to hum, to glow, to exist without time. Somewhere beyond the trees, the creatures still move. The petals still drift. But you are part of it now, not visiting, but belonging. You close your eyes and feel the world around you sigh, soft and content. Sleep doesn't take you. It welcomes you gently as one of its own. The tree above you seems to breathe along with you. Its light pulses slowly, like a lullaby written in rhythm instead of sound. You keep your eyes closed. The garden moves gently around you, but you no longer need to watch. You feel each shift the way a leaf might feel the wind, soft, present, and completely safe. The moss beneath you is warm and steady. A soft rustling comes from nearby. It is not alarming. It sounds like a page turning or fabric brushing against itself. You open your eyes slightly and see small creatures placing stones in a circle nearby. They hum as they work, a low and even sound that doesn't ask for attention. You listen quietly and feel the vibrations sink deeper into your chest. The creatures finish their work and step back. The stones glow faintly, not with fire, but with the same energy that flows through the whole garden. You don't know their purpose, and you don't need to. Not everything here is meant to be understood. Some things are just meant to be felt. You let your eyes drift shut again and return to stillness. The earth beneath you shifts slightly, not in a way that startles, more like a long, contented breath rising from below. It feels like the garden itself has fallen asleep along with you. The petals stop drifting. The trees go still. The light remains, but softer now, like the last glow of a candle about to flicker out. The silence deepens. You begin to forget how you arrived. The path that brought you here fades from memory. There is no more sense of direction. No past, no future. Just this exact moment and the feeling that nothing else matters. Even the air seems lighter. Your hands rest still beside you, your legs completely relaxed. You feel like water held gently in a cup. Somewhere above the canopy, the stars move slowly. They do not twinkle. They glow with patience, content to wait while the world sleeps below. One falls quietly across the sky, a slow arc of light, barely brighter than a firefly. You see it behind your closed eyes. It leaves no trail, only the memory of motion. A reminder that even light finds rest. The scent of the garden shifts. Now it carries the softness of chamomile, cool stone, and a hint of something sweet and unplaceable. It reminds you of dreams you do not remember, feelings that never had words. You breathe it in and feel it settle into your body like warmth spreading beneath a heavy blanket. The scent itself is restful. You hear the stream again. Its voice is distant but steady, a gentle rhythm in the background of your mind. It does not ask to be followed. It does not lead anywhere. It simply exists, moving in time with your breath, steady and endless. You imagine the water passing over smooth stones, making each one softer with time. There is no rush, only flow. Somewhere nearby, soft petals fall again. They land without sound. One rests on your shoulder. You do not move to brush it away. You accept it like sleep accepts silence. The petal is light, almost weightless, but you feel its presence like a whisper. It belongs here, just as you do. Everything in the garden has a place. Tonight, so do you. The fireflies return, dancing slowly above your resting body. Their lights blink in a slow pattern that matures the rhythm of your breath. One hovers close, then turns away, joining the others as they spiral upward toward the tallest trees. You follow their movement with your eyes closed. The garden fades further into stillness. So do you. Your body feels weightless, not from floating, but from release. Every breath seems to loosen another invisible knot. There is no pressure to sleep, yet it surrounds you. Sleep is in the soil, in the breeze, in the light. The garden does not try to lull you. It simply exists in such peace that your body has no choice but to follow. You sense the night growing deeper, not darker, just quieter, as if even the stars have begun to close their eyes. Somewhere beyond the trees, a soft chime sounds once, clearer and low. It fades into the air without echo. The creatures pause their tending for just a moment, then continue as if the sound marked a shift only they understand. The glow of the garden begins to change. It becomes cooler, tinged with soft blue and violet. Not cold, only different, like the sky before dawn, before the first bird sings. It is not morning yet, only a deeper part of the night. The trees above stretch slightly, and their branches sway as if sighing in a dream. You move deeper into stillness. Even your breath feels distant now. Not gone, just soft. A cloud of sleep surrounds you, but you are not lost in it. You are part of it. Your thoughts no longer form words. They drift like petals in water, too slow to follow, too gentle to disturb. The garden hums in silence, holding you with care. The path reappears, faintly glowing beneath you. You are not asked to move, yet it seems to lead you forward without effort. The moss under your back feels like it is slowly rising, not lifting you, just guiding you towards something quieter. You do not open your eyes. You trust where the garden takes you. You sense the pond again, though you cannot see it. The sound of its water is softer now, as if it too has grown sleepy. The dream images that once floated beneath its surface are gone. Now it holds only stillness. You realize that the dreams have already found you. You are lying among them, wrapped in their quiet language. One of the tiny caretakers stops beside you. It places a small, folded leaf near your hand. It does not speak. The gesture feels like a gift, or perhaps a parting. You do not open the leaf. You do not need to know what is inside. You only know that you are cared for, that in this garden, rest is given freely, without question. The light of the garden dims further, as if asking the stars to finish the story. The glow remains, but only as a memory. The trees stand still. The vines loosen. The air feels like a lullaby made of warmth. You feel your body sink just a little more, not from weight, but from release. You are not falling asleep. You are becoming sleep. There is no more path to follow. The moss becomes your bed, the sky your blanket, the fireflies drift away, the stream becomes a whisper, the glow of the flowers fades into a gentle haze. There is nothing left to do. You are already where you were meant to arrive. The garden does not say goodbye, it only grows still. You are still. The garden is still. And in that stillness, you feel peace like never before. Not the peace of silence, but the peace of being known and left alone. The peace of a place that expects nothing from you. Your breath softens again. Your body no longer stirs. The midnight garden remains around you, blooming softly as you drift into deep, endless rest. The stars above seem closer now. They do not twinkle or dance. They remain steady, quiet watchers in the sky. Their soft light filters through the leaves and settles over you like dust from a dream. You do not reach for them, you simply let them be. Their presence is enough to remind you that the sky is part of your rest too. A breeze drifts through the branches, slow and even. It doesn't disturb the garden. It tucks in the leaves and cools the air like a whisper of kindness. The breeze moves over you, brushing your skin with a touch that feels familiar, though you do not know why. Maybe it is memory. Maybe it is peace itself taking shape around you. You become aware of your body only in pieces now. Your hands rest open, your shoulders loose. Your legs feel like water. The space around you stretches wide and quiet. You are not asleep yet, but you are no longer awake. You rest in the in-between, where dreams begin to grow slowly, like vines finding something solid to hold on to. A soft glow pulses beneath the moss. It is not light from above, it comes from within the ground itself. The garden is alive in every layer. Beneath you, deep roots carry calm like a song through the soil. You can feel the vibration of stillness beneath your spine, and it hums in harmony with your breath. The garden does not ask you to remember this. It does not try to make itself special. It offers only what is needed. Rest, quiet, gentle light. Each moment blends with the next. Each breath becomes part of the garden's rhythm. You realize the story here is not about discovery. It is about letting go of needing anything at all. The tiny creatures return one last time. They pass slowly through the tall grass, leaving no footprints. Each one carries a glowing seed. They tuck them into the soil with care, whispering over them in a language you cannot understand. But the feeling is clear. They are planting dreams, and you are one of them. The garden fades around the edges of your awareness, not vanishing, just becoming quieter. Trees turn to shadow. Flowers become soft blurs. The stream becomes a distant sound, like memory dissolving into sleep. You do not resist it. You are part of it. There is no difference now between the garden and your dreams. Your breathing becomes the only sound you notice, slow and even, like waves on a shore that has never seen a storm. Each inhale carries stillness. Each exhale carries release. The night deepens further. Even the stars seem to dim slightly, as if they too are folding into rest, content to share this sleep with you. No thought enters your mind, not because you push them away, but because they simply do not rise. You are empty in the most peaceful way. Every corner of your body has been touched by calm. You feel like stone worn smooth by time, shaped gently by the garden. There is nothing left to carry. You are held completely. In the quiet of the garden, you vanish into stillness. Your breath softens. Your heart slows. There is no ending here, only continuation. You are not finishing a story. You are becoming part of one that never needed words. The midnight garden will remain, blooming gently, holding you through the night. You feel the garden breathing, not with sound, but with stillness. Every pause in your body echoes in the space around you. Trees listen, leaves settle. Even the sky seems to lean in. There is no movement unless it serves rest. The world here doesn't ask for your attention. It gives you freedom to float inside a moment that never rushes. Somewhere in the distance, a bell chimes softly once. It fades into the quiet like mist. It does not wake you. It does not change anything. It simply marks that time is passing in its own way. You remain still, deeply settled in the soft cradle of this garden. The sound becomes part of the hush, a thread woven into silence. The moss beneath you grows warmer. It feels like memory, like hands once held or blankets pulled high on a cold night. Your eyes stay closed. You no longer need to see to know where you are. The garden has become a feeling more than a place. It exists now inside you, even as your awareness fades gently into deeper sleep. A light pulse spreads beneath the ground. You sense it like a heartbeat under your back. The garden is alive, but it is dreaming too. Maybe you are dreaming together. You breathe in and the air feels like it has shape, soft, rounded, weightless. It fills your chest and settles without asking you to hold anything. A leaf falls gently onto your shoulder. You feel it land but do not move. It is not a burden. It is a touch, like a small voice saying you are here and that is enough. You lie so still that the air forgets to move around you. Even time seems to stop just long enough to honor the stillness you've earned. The petals on the trees close slightly. Their light dims as if tucking in for the night. The fireflies drift slower now. Their pattern becomes less like a dance and more like a breath. Their glow begins to match the rhythm of your chest. They are no longer flying for beauty, they are flying for you, to guide you through the quiet. Above the trees, the sky turns deeper. The stars feel thicker, as though wrapped in velvet. You cannot count them, you cannot reach them, but their glow feels near. It presses gently on your closed eyelids and fills your chest with ease. There is no distance in this garden. Everything you need is already near. You feel yourself begin to drift, not away, but inward. Your thoughts grow smaller. Your breath becomes your whole world. The garden does not disappear. It becomes a part of your sleep, woven into your dreams like soft colors on a canvas. Even if you never return, it will always remain, blooming in the background of your quietest nights. No footsteps mark your path. No voice speaks your name. The garden does not remember you because it never had to. You were never separate from it. You belonged the moment you arrived. It gave you sleep not as a gift, but as something already yours, waiting patiently for you to come home to it. Everything fades now, not into darkness, but into softness. Shapes lose edges, light becomes warmth, sound becomes breath. You do not fall asleep. You become sleep itself. A single breath stretched across the sky, held gently by the trees, the moss, the stream, and the stars that never asked you to do anything more than rest. The trees around you no longer sway. Their stillness is complete. Even the softest sounds of the garden have become whispers folded into silence. You lie untouched by thought, by time, by anything that once felt heavy. The peace you feel now is not temporary. It settles into your bones as if it always belonged there. The earth beneath you hums with a warmth that does not fade. It carries you further into sleep without pulling, without pushing. You are not being taken anywhere. You are simply being allowed to rest where everything around you agrees that resting is enough. The garden has no end because it needs none. The glow of the leaves above you becomes dim and steady, like candlelight before it goes out, but never fully disappearing. It waits with you, Not watching, just keeping company in the quiet. You are not alone, but you are not observed. There is no expectation here, only gentle presence and still air. A final breeze slips past, soft as the edge of a dream. It brushes your face and disappears. You let it pass. You have no desire to follow it. The only movement now is your breath, and even that is barely a sound. You no longer care where you are in the garden. Every place here is made for sleep. Above you, the stars feel heavier in the sky, as if resting too. Their light no longer sparkles. It floats, slow and full. You imagine one settling near you, not to watch, but to share this stillness. You breathe out slowly and feel yourself dissolve just a little more into the space around you. The garden has become a cradle. Its moss is your blanket, its trees your walls. The stream hums like a soft voice at the edge of your awareness. You are held without weight. Sleep is not coming for you. It is already here. You have become the calm, not just surrounded by it, but part of it in every way. Your body feels forgotten, not in absence, but in peace. You are not lost. You are simply no longer separate from the quiet that surrounds you. Time may pass, but you will not notice. The stillness is thick now, like a warm fog. It protects you from even the faintest noise of thought. You are floating without motion. Your thoughts no longer rise. Your breath, now softer than ever, becomes your only anchor. But even that anchor feels like it has let go. You drift in a space between dream and nothing, and you are entirely safe there. The garden no longer needs to glow. You carry its light inside you now. All that remains is stillness. The garden holds you in it like a memory never spoken aloud. A place only the heart recognizes. You do not have to remember this when you wake. The rest it offers will remain in your body, in the way you breathe, in the way you let go, just a little easier next time. Sleep takes you now, but gently. There is no end to the garden, only a fading awareness of its edges. You will not feel it vanish. You will simply become quieter, heavier, and completely at peace. The garden will bloom again on another night for another tired soul. But for now, it belongs to you, and you to it. The Sleepwell Harbor. There is a harbor tucked into the curve of a quiet coastline, where the sea whispers against the wooden docks and the stars hang low enough to touch. No map leads here. You arrive not by compass, but by stillness. When your mind begins to slow and your breath deepens like a tide, you find yourself standing at the edge of Sleepwell Harbor. The water here is not restless. It does not crash or churn. It moves in soft pulses, like the rhythm of breathing at rest. Old ships float gently in place, their sails neatly tied. They would worn smooth by time and calm. There is no crew, no anchors. The harbor itself wholesome, steady and safe, as if cradling dreams. You step quietly onto a dock made of driftwood and moss. It creaks once, not in protest, but like a sigh. Lanterns hang from posts, glowing with the same color as starlight. They do not flicker, they hum. A breeze carries the scent of salt and lavender, and in the distance a bell rings once, marking no time at all. The first ship you pass is named Quiet Mercy. Its hull is painted in fading blue, and small vines grow along the edge of the deck. A cat sleeps on a coil of rope, unbothered by your presence. Its chest rises and falls in time with the tide. You do not wake it. You keep walking, the sound of your steps fading with each moment. Another ship rests beside the first. This one is smaller, with a canopy made of woven leaves. Fireflies blink gently within it, lighting the shadows with tiny pulses of gold. A ladder leads up, but you do not climb. You understand without being told that this is a place meant to be seen, not disturbed. Its peace belongs to the night. The dock turns slightly, curving with the harbor's shape. The path ahead is lit by moonlight alone, but it is enough. You see the soft shimmer of fish beneath the surface, moving slowly, as if half asleep. One stops beneath your reflection. It lingers, then swims away, leaving behind only ripples that smooth back into stillness. You stop at a bench carved from a single piece of driftwood. It faces the open water. The ships behind you rock gently in the tide, and the stars above reflect in the sea so clearly it feels like you are suspended between two skies. You sit without thinking. The bench welcomes your weight like it has waited for you. Out beyond the harbor's mouth, a lighthouse stands on a rocky rise. Its beam moves slowly, casting long, quiet arcs across the water. It is not meant to guide travelers. It is here to soothe. The light doesn't warn of danger. It tells the world that this is a place where nothing needs to happen. Only rest is expected. The air grows cooler as night deepens. Not cold, just calm. You pull a soft blanket around your shoulders. You don't remember bringing it, but it fits perfectly, like it has always been yours. The breeze rustles the sails of the closest boat, but they do not rise. They remain still, wrapped in the same kind of quiet that holds your breath. Somewhere nearby, wind chimes made from shells begin to stir. They sound like distant thoughts settling. You close your eyes. You are not trying to sleep, yet everything in your body begins to soften. The ships, the dock, the water, and the night form a lullaby that needs no melody. It simply is, and you are part of it now. The wooden planks beneath you are warm from the memory of day, though the sun is long gone. You stretch your legs and listen, not for anything in particular, just to the way sound floats here. Every creak of wood, every soft splash against the dock, blends together until it becomes something like a song without words. You rise and begin walking again, slower this time. The boats along the pier grow older, each one with its own quiet personality. One has a deck covered in moss and ivy. Another has a single lantern swinging gently at its bow. These are not ships meant to sail. They are vessels for stillness, built to drift inside dreams. A small bridge appears ahead, arched just enough to let water pass beneath. You step onto it, and the wood responds with a soft groan. Below, the tide carries tiny flowers on its surface, as if someone upstream released them as a gift. You lean over the edge, watching them float by. Each one glows faintly in the moonlight. Across the bridge, you find a wooden crate with cushions stacked neatly inside. One has your name stitched into the fabric. You do not question it. You lift it gently and carry it toward a nearby boat, one that rocks just slightly in the soft water. The name on its side reads, Dreambound. The letters are faded but kind. You step aboard the boat, and it settles beneath your weight like an exhale. The deck is clean, the ropes tucked away. A blanket waits for you at the bow. folded with care. You place the cushion beneath your head and lie down. The boat does not drift far. It stays moored to the dock, but in your mind it has already set sail. The sky above is filled with stars, close enough to feel. One falls slowly, leaving a soft line behind it. You do not make a wish. There is nothing more you need. The stars do not blink here. They glow steadily, like lanterns keeping watch. Their light touches your skin and feels like warmth, even in the cool sea air. From within the harbor, you hear a low humming sound. Not mechanical, but natural. Perhaps the sea itself is singing, or the boats are talking in their sleep. You close your eyes and listen more deeply. The sound rises and falls like breath, like waves, like someone reading a story you have already begun to dream. Your thoughts begin to stretch and fade. They move slower now, like shadows in water. One by one, they let go of shape. What remains is feeling. Calm, soft, quiet feeling that wraps around your chest and legs and head until you are completely still. The harbor does not ask you to sleep. It simply creates the space for it. A single lantern hangs above you, swaying gently with the rhythm of the tide. Its light is not yellow or white, but soft blue, like the edge of morning. It casts no sharp shadows. Everything around you becomes smooth and rounded, like stones polished by years of water. Even your breath feels shaped by the quiet. You drift without moving, not on the sea, but within yourself. The harbor becomes part of your body. The boat becomes your bed. The stars become your ceiling. And the breeze that moves through your hair feels like it has always known you. Sleep begins to settle, not suddenly, but gradually, like dusk spreading across the sky. The sound of the waves becomes softer, like a whisper shared between old friends. Each ripple seems to carry a message, not in words, but in rhythm. It tells you that you are safe, that the night is long enough, and that rest is not something to earn, but something that waits patiently for you to receive it. The boat rocks slightly, not enough to disturb, just enough to remind you that it's still cradling you. The motion is gentle and steady, like the way someone might sway a child who has already fallen asleep. You feel yourself becoming lighter, not because anything has left you, but because everything has settled. Somewhere farther down the dock, you hear a door open and close softly. No one speaks. There is no hurry. The harbor belongs to everyone and no one. Each sleeper aboard each boat is wrapped in their own stillness. You are part of that now, connected without contact, joined by the simple fact of rest. The sea breeze moves through the sails above your head. Though they do not rise, they flutter gently, as if they too are dreaming. The sound they make is like paper turning slowly, like thoughts reshaping themselves into softer versions. You breathe in time with that rhythm and feel yourself sinking deeper. Above, the clouds part slightly, the moon reveals itself, not bright, just full and quiet. It watches the harbor not as a guardian, but as a witness. It does not interrupt. Its light folds around the ships and touches the water with a glow so soft it feels like a secret. You smile without opening your eyes. Your hands rest quietly at your sides. You are aware of them only as warmth, not movement. Your breath has slowed. Your shoulders are weightless. You do not know how long you've been here, and it does not matter. Time has unraveled like a loose thread, and the only thing that remains is this gentle moment. A distant gull calls once, its voice softened by distance and night. It is not jarring. It blends with the air and fades quickly. Even the animals here seem to respect the hush. The harbor does not disturb. It accepts every sound, every breeze, every breath as something that belongs, even when silence returns. You imagine the ocean stretching out beyond the cliffs, wide and quiet, without storm or struggle. It exists not for travel, but for reflection. The water holds the stars and carries no urgency. Somewhere far away, a wave may break, but here in the harbor, the sea is content to rest along with you. You hear the soft creak of rope against wood. It repeats gently, timed with the tide. It is the kind of sound that could lull you endlessly, never rising, never falling too sharply. You begin to forget where you are, not because you are lost, but because you are so deeply present that the world beyond disappears. Your thoughts thin like morning fog. They lose their edges and blend together until nothing remains but a slow, glowing calm. The harbor holds you without effort. No one speaks, nothing moves quickly, and inside your chest, where worry once sat, there is only a deep, steady quiet that asks for nothing but your rest. The stars above grow softer. Their light no longer reaches down, but hovers gently like snow that never falls. You sense the presence of dreams nearby, not yet visible, but near. They float just beyond thought, waiting patiently. You feel them circling, drawn by the quiet you carry now like a slow-moving tide. Somewhere in the harbor, wind chimes sing again. Their tone is deeper now, richer, like a lullaby you forgot but never stopped needing. The sound blends with the night. It becomes part of your breath, part of the rhythm in your chest. You no longer listen for it. You feel it instead, like warmth sinking into your bones. You are not thinking anymore. You are sensing the rough grain of the wood beneath you, the weight of your body softening into the boat, the steady push and pull of the tide. You exist here like the ships do, still, steady, surrounded by water that only moves to remind you that peace is always possible. A soft fog begins to gather near the edges of the dock. It drifts between lanterns and along the boats, not hiding anything, just softening the details. You watch it curl and rise, then close your eyes again. The fog is a blanket for the harbor. It tucks everything in without a single word or touch. You hear the call of something distant, maybe a night bird, maybe a breeze moving through tall grass along the shore. It comes and goes, leaving behind a stillness even deeper than before. It reminds you that the world continues beyond this place, but nothing out there needs you right now. Here is enough. A dream begins to form behind your eyes. Not a story, not an image, just a feeling. It hums like the tide and breathes like the wind. It holds your hand without shape. You are not afraid. You do not need to understand. All that matters is the softness settling deeper into your chest with each slow breath. Your body feels lighter now. Not floating, not rising, just looser. As if each part of you has gently disconnected from the day. You are not separate from the harbor anymore. You have become part of its quiet rhythm, another ship at rest, another lantern burning low, another hush wrapped in starlight. The moon has moved across the sky without you noticing. Its glow now hangs over the open water, casting a long reflection across the tide. You watch it without opening your eyes. The image forms in your mind with ease. You are no longer using your senses to explore. You are letting the harbor tell the story. The name Dreambound painted on the boat beside you begins to blur in the mist. You smile faintly. The name no longer feels separate from your own thoughts. Everything here is part of one slow moment. No edges, no beginnings or endings. Just softness, like pages left open and unread by choice. You breathe again, deeper this time. Not because you need air, but because your body has remembered what it feels like to let go. The tide does not rush. The breeze does not pull. You are no longer waiting for sleep. You are already inside it. And still the harbor remains, quiet and patient, holding you steady. The water around you laps gently at the hull of your boat. It is not a sound you notice with surprise. It has been there all along, like a quiet heartbeat in the background. Each wave presses against the wood like a whisper. The rhythm never changes, never hurries. It simply continues, and you continue with it. A gentle light flickers through the fog. It is not from the lighthouse or the moon. It seems to come from nowhere, glowing softly like the inside of a seashell. You do not search for its source. You simply let it fill the air around you. The light doesn't show the way. It simply adds warmth to the stillness. Somewhere, a hatch creaks open and closes again. Another sleeper adjusting in their boat, perhaps. You do not need to know who it is. The harbor connects you without words. No one is alone here. Each resting soul shares this silence like stars sharing a sky. Together, but without crowding the dark. Your hands relax completely. The boat holds your arms at just the right angle. Your fingers curl slightly, loose and weightless. Even the tension in your brow has softened. You are not dreaming yet, but you are ready. The harbor does not push you. It only offers you the feeling that there is nothing left to hold. A ship far across the water lifts slightly on a soft wave, then lowers again. Its reflection wavers, then smooths. The movement is slow, like a nod from something ancient. The ships here do not have destinations. They are already home. You realize you are not waiting to leave. You are waiting to rest completely. Your breath becomes the only motion you notice. In, then out. You are not counting. You are not controlling. It moves on its own now, like the tide itself has taken over. The sound of the sea echoes within your chest. The waves are no longer outside of you. You are breathing with the ocean, slowly and without effort. A faint scent drifts in from the shore, seagrass and something floral, almost like chamomile. You inhale gently, not to hold the scent, but to let it pass through. It does not ask for attention. It simply adds another layer to the calm. The harbor uses every sense to remind you that stillness is complete. Clouds gather overhead, but they do not hide the stars. They stretch across the sky in soft lines, almost glowing from within. The sky has no edge now. It blends into the sea. You cannot tell where one ends and the other begins. Everything is smooth, seamless, meant to carry you toward the deep part of night. A bell on a nearby mast rings once. The sound is soft, low, and steady. It is not a warning or a call. It is a greeting to sleep. A final sound before silence settles completely. The bell fades into the air like breath into fog. You do not listen for it again. One note is enough to carry your thoughts away. You are no longer fully aware of your body. Your weight is evenly held. Your muscles have forgotten what it means to carry tension. Your thoughts no longer rise. You are becoming stillness itself, wrapped in air, water, and moonlight. The harbor is your anchor now, but even that feels like a gentle release. The harbor no longer feels like a place outside of you. It has moved inward, become part of your breath and your skin. The water, the boats, the night air have all settled inside you like pages folded into a book. There is nothing to do now but drift. You have already arrived where rest begins. A ripple moves beneath your boat. Soft and slow, you do not open your eyes. You simply feel it, the gentle shift in balance, the coolness of the air that follows. The harbor rocks you without effort. It has no intention. It only moves the way rest always has, quiet and sure and without need. You begin to forget how long you have been here, not because of distraction, but because time no longer feels important. The moon is still there. The boats are still quiet. Your breath rises and falls without command. You are surrounded by calm, and your mind has followed it into silence. In your thoughts, a shape begins to form. A memory, perhaps, or a dream. It doesn't arrive with urgency. It drifts in gently, like a leaf carried on the tide. You let it come. You let it fade. The harbor doesn't hold on to anything. Neither do you. There is only movement and then stillness again. You sense the presence of others now. Not near, not far, just somewhere in the harbor, resting like you. Their stillness adds to yours. No words pass between you. No names are needed. You are part of a quiet gathering, brought together not by purpose, but by the simple need for peace. A soft tapping reaches your ears, perhaps a line against a mast or a shell brushing the dock. The sound doesn't stay. It wheezes like a thought, then vanishes. You do not chase it. You are too far inside the quiet now to need answers. Everything here fades before it ever grows loud. You pull the blanket higher without thinking. The warmth it brings is not new, just more complete. It does not just cover your body, it feels like it covers your thoughts too. You stop remembering, you stop wondering, you simply breathe and let the harbor breathe with you. Mist gathers again, not thick enough to hide, just enough to soften. Shapes blur, light bends. You are not worried about what you can see. You are aware without needing detail. This is not a place to explore. This is a place to stay still and let the world turn without you. One more breeze finds your cheek. It is cooler than before, and it carries the last sounds of night with it. The tide is still. The sails are still. Even your thoughts have gone still. You drift toward the center of sleep without knowing when you crossed into it. The harbor holds you one final moment before you surrender to full rest. There is nothing left to feel. You have passed through the layers of thought, sound, and breath. Now you are only quiet. The boats will remain, the sea will hum, and sleep will carry you farther than any map ever could. You feel the last bit of awareness dim. It doesn't vanish. It simply steps back, allowing the quiet to take its place. There is no line between waking and sleep. You pass through it without noticing. The harbor continues to rock gently. Its rhythm has become your own. A memory flickers at the edge of your mind. A soft light, a shoreline. Perhaps this harbor has visited your dreams before. Perhaps it has always been waiting. You do not need to know for sure. What matters now is that you are here, wrapped in warmth, folded into stillness. The boats do not move far from the dock. They stay close, held by the same tide that holds you. They know the harbor is where rest belongs. They would sighs gently in the night. Their sails do not rise. Their ropes stay tied. Sleep is the only journey they make now. A lantern dims nearby. Its light doesn't fade from lack. It simply no longer needs to shine. The moon still glows. The stars still gather. But none of it pulls your attention. You are looking inward now, not with effort, but with ease. The harbor is now inside of you. You imagine your breath floating outward, joining the fog. It drifts over the boats, around the dock, and disappears into the sea. Nothing about this moment is held too tightly. Everything is allowed to pass. Even your own thoughts have learned how to loosen and drift. Somewhere, a door closes softly. A light clicks off. The harbor grows even quieter. Sleep doesn't need a sound to enter. It finds you already waiting, already softened by the hush, already open to the dark, not as something to fear, but as something full of calm. You stop trying to feel your limbs, not because you are numb, but because your body no longer needs your attention. It has found its place among the stillness. You are more breath than shape now, more warmth than movement. The boat carries you without ever leaving. The tide sighs. It is the last sound you hear. Or maybe it is the first sound of your dream. The difference doesn't matter anymore. You are already there, floating not on water, but on peace. The harbor does not end. It fades into the gentle world you carry into sleep. The sea remains. The stars remain. But you no longer observe them. You are part of what rests. The quiet no longer surrounds you. It fills you. You are not sleeping. You are sleep itself. Light and air and memory all folded into the still rhythm of the harbor's breath. Sleepwell Harbor drifts behind your closing thoughts. It will be there again, unchanged, waiting for the next time you seek it. But for now, you stay here, fully held, fully quiet, fully at peace. The harbor continues to rock beneath you, and sleep carries you deeper still.